Hello and welcome along to the next installment of my camper conversion YouTube channel. This video is the final video in a series showing how I've converted a tiny little Ford Connect short wheelbase low roof van into a fully fledged DVLA registered camper van. Now I've just got the van back from the paint shop, so now it's just a time to do a final overview of everything that's been done to the van, show off the new shiny metal flake paint. I'm hoping that the actual camera's going to be picking this up, because at the moment in the sun this paintwork is sparkling like crazy back at me. And see, I just know the cameras don't really like showing up the metal flakes sometimes. It can be a bit of a bugger to try and show it. But anyway, as I say, it's all done, it's all finished. So, as I say, the full van's been fully converted from what was a mobile disco van when I bought it, all the way through to a DVLA registered camper. So, what have I done to the van? First things first, when I first bought it, stripped the entire inside out, took up the old ply flooring. I've swept all the ply flooring out, making sure that the floor plan was good. It's all sound, there's no issues with the floor at all, there's no rust issues or anything. So that's had the ply laid back down, then a full layer of UVA foam mats as insulation. Then on top of that it's had some Altro style safety flooring. Now the Altro flooring is purple, and this does actually have metal flake sparkle in it as well. It's just you do need some light shining on it to actually pick up the sparkle on it. So that's the actual flooring down. After I did the flooring, it was time to get all of the panel work insulated. So behind the ply panel work at the moment, all of the actual panels, including the sliding door, are all insulated with expensive Celotex closed foam cell insulation. It's got a mixture of 25 and 50mm depending on the thickness of the panels. The roof lining above the head lining also has a full sheet of jab light insulation going the full length of the roof lining, so the roof lining is fully insulated as well. So basically this van is as insulated as I can get it, basically. After the insulation was done, it was time to do all the carpeting. As you can see, I know it sometimes makes it out darker than it actually is on the camera, but all the metalwork in here has been carpeted, and all of the ply work as well. It's all been carpeted with stretch 4-way carpet in anthracite colour. So it's not black, it's just like a dark grey. But as I say, the camera does make it look a lot darker in here than it actually is. So after all the metalwork was carpeted, all the ply panels were carpeted, all the headlining was made and carpeted and fitted, I then fitted 4 LED downlighters in. They are connected to a remote control dimmer switch, so you can leave that on your car keys, and when you're walking back you can just turn the lights on and off just using the remote control. Really handy function. It just means when you're walking back to the van you can turn the lights on, so the lights are on before you even enter the van. So after I fitted the headlining and the downlighters in, I've fitted a 40cm skylight. Now that was fitted where the roof had some rust issues, so rather than struggling to cut out and replace metal, I've just cut the entire affected area out and fitted a lovely 40cm skylight. As you can see, that's fully sealed all the way around with Sikaflex and mastic as well, so there's no issues with any sort of leaks coming through with that. Now after the skylight was fitted, I've also then gone and fitted a little window in the sliding door. Now DVLA requirements do state that you do need some kind of side window. It doesn't need to be in the sliding door, it could be in the side panel, but I generally do try and put them in sliding doors. That's a lovely little window, and again, I don't know how well the camera will make out, but you can see that the ply panel work fits lovely right behind the actual rubber seal of the window. And the window itself just adds that little bit of extra natural daylight and a nice lovely view going out the side. Obviously the skylight does add some additional light as well. So once the van had had the flooring down, all the insulation and the ply panels carpeted, the metalwork carpeted, the headlining up, headlining insulated, skylight in, side window in, it was then time to start building up the sofa bed. Now in here I've managed to squeeze in an L-shaped corner sofa bed. The sofa, when it's in its sofa position, as it is at the moment, can easily seat 4, maybe even 5 people. And although this is the short wheelbase standard low roof van, as you can see I'm 6'3", and other than just a little bit of hair brushing, I've got plenty of room just to sit, plenty of leg room, plenty of foot room, so you could easily seat another maybe 3, maybe another 4 people along just this sofa as it is. So if it was ever raining outside, bundle into the van, get the covers on, this, that, the other. Now when the sofa is then put into its bed position, it's over 200 centimeters long and just over 100 centimeters wide, so it's a really nice sized double bed as well. I'll make that up in a second just to show you how quick and easy it is to put the bed up and down and get it back from the sofa bed into the bed and then back into the sofa position. You're talking literally seconds. So once the bed was all completed, it was time to do the kitchen pod. You can see the kitchen pod has again been made with more black sparkle ply. I do like my sparkly stuff. It's had a blue worktop fitted on it as well, and on top of that it has a 2-burner brand new camper gas hob with a gas grill as well. As you can see, it's all brand spanking new, never been used, bought specifically just for this conversion. Now beneath the gas hob in the unit itself, I've sectioned off underneath the unit. So this side has a dedicated gas storage bottle area. You can see it's fully sealed all the way around, all the way down the sides, and at the bottom there's a gas safety dropout hole. So although it's had a brand new regulator, brand new gas pipe, there should be absolutely no reason why there would be any issues, but just in case, safety first, gas dropout hole, gas bottle safety retaining strap, and that's generally what most caravan motorhome engineers would want to see in a gas storage locker. Ideally, if it was going to be out for rental, it should be metal lined, but for personal use this is still perfectly fine, especially just because of the fact it's got the safety first issue of having the gas dropout hole there. So on the other side of the kitchen unit, I've fitted a lovely little 25cm round sink. That's got a full-size kitchen strainer as well, rather than your usual caravan tiny little drain plug holes. And this sink has direct external drainage straight out of the van. Just next to it, I've got a brand new microswitch tap wired to a brand new microswitch pump underneath. So if I just turn the tap on, you can see in here, it's kicking back into life just by turning the tap on and off. So basically that little submersible pump just needs shotting straight into a water tank, and away you go, there's your flowing water. And as you can see at the back of the cupboard, hopefully, there's your external drainage going straight out the bottom of the van as well. So you're not having to carry any grey wastewater containers inside the van. You could have one underneath the van where the drainage comes out, or if you're parking near a drain or whatever, you could just let it free drain straight out. Underneath there's also storage for the battery at the back as well. I've just got a little test battery in at the moment just to show everything working more than anything else, but there's plenty of room to get a really good sized chunky leisure battery in there. And at the back there it's got a 10 blade fuse box with a common negative return. So everything inside the van electrics wise is individually fused, so if there were any issues with the electrics, again there shouldn't be, but if there were, every single thing is individually fused, so just one thing would pop if there was an issue rather than taking out all the electrics. But again, there shouldn't be any issues at all. Everything's directly wired and fed directly back to the leisure battery. You can even see all the stuff still even got the plastic wrapping on. That's how new all of the worktops is that I've been using. I've had to take a few bits off to be able to get the screws in, but everything else it's still got all the wrapping on, even the table there. Now the DVLA do require a table in the van regardless of the size of the van. Now I've done a similar sort of table on a previous van, a Daihatsu Hijet, where it just had a tiny little table mounted to the sliding door and it just folds up, and the DVLA previously registered that as a camper, so I see no reason why they wouldn't do the same on this. This just has a little retaining clip there, let that go, fold the table up, pop the cupboard door open for the water storage area, and then that acts as a stand for the table itself. That just gives extra prep work just if you're ever doing anything around the kitchen area, and place just to put cups, plates, this, that, the other. Just folds down again straight away, just shut the door, just fold straight down, put the retainer clip back up, and then that means you can open the sliding door and it's not getting caught on the bodywork at all. Also on that side of the bed, under there, I've also fitted the USB and 12 volt power with a little voltage gauge as well. I've wired them to a switch so they can be turned on and off individually as well, and you've got USB and your normal 12-volt chargers. Just turn the switch off and everything goes back off again. That just means that the voltage meter isn't just slowly, continuously draining away the battery. So conversion wise, that's pretty much everything I've done to the van. Everything that I've used is pretty much brand new. All brand new worktops, brand new hob, brand new sink, brand new tap, brand new submersible pump, new wood for all of the bed, new ply for all the bed, new carpet, new insulation. The only thing in this entire conversion that's been used or reclaimed are the actual cushions. They came out of a really good conditioned Campervan. They were a little bit thick, so I had to cut them down just in width, otherwise it would have took an extra 4 inches off the headlining and it would have been getting a little bit too tight then. Now, because I put them back into the same covers that they came out of, and I've reduced the depth of the cushion, it just means the cushion's a little bit saggy, but they're still a really good tight fit. They could just do with maybe a little bit of upholstering with a sewing machine, which is unfortunately something I just don't have. It still looks very nice, very neat, very presentable as it is at the moment, but it's just in case anybody was concerned about that little bit of floppiness in the cushions themselves. 5 minutes with a sewing machine and that will get them really tight and taut. Underneath the bed, it's got a plethora of storage. The amount of storage underneath the bed's ridiculous. Both of the front sides flip down. That front panel on that one also flips down. And this little panel at the back flips down to give more access under there, and you can see the full length of the bed is full storage. So that will definitely pass the DVLA requirements for the storage as well. The amount of storage you have under there, you could put everything under there, from your bedding, clothes, all the way down to a portable toilet, possibly even a small little cooler. Loads of storage, no issues at all. All the panels just flip straight up, clip into place. And if you were trying to get anything really big underneath it, the top panel also flips up. That's on a piano hinge at the back there, as you can see. So the entire full length of the top panel also flips up, meaning you can get any really big bulky items under the bed for storage, and away you go. So conversion internally wise, that's pretty much everything. I'll just pop the camera down and show you how quickly it can be, the bed can be made up from the sofa position. So to make the bed up, underneath this cushion there's just a ply panel that pulls across and sits along this side beam of the bed, and the spare panel on the front of the kitchen unit, and it also sits at the very front on a lip there as well. So once it's in place like that, it's not going anywhere at all. Seconds drop it into place, then you just need to move the cushion over, and that is a basic small bed as things stand. As this is made up at the moment, this is probably only round about 1.5 meters long, something like that. So you might be thinking, well, how does it get converted into a full 2 meter long bed? And for that, all you need to do is move the front seats forward, and there's a flip panel at the front. So if I move the seat forward, you can see I've got a couple of little hinges here. These are spring mounted hinges. They just fold straight down as well. So to make the bed up, the passenger seat does also need to go down. Flip up the two little spring mounts, and underneath that cushion there's a little ply panel, and that flips over. Put the cushions on, and right there you have a bed that measures almost 2 meters long. As you can just see the size of that bed there, it's really nice. There should be no issue squeezing anybody in here at all. And because I'm 6'3", I do always try and build any conversions big enough to be able to house myself. It's just so then it means that if I do then sell the van on, it will be suitable for anybody from 6'3" all the way down. So just to show you the bed size, I'll shut the doors up and get in. Just take my trainers off. So as you can see, that's the bed shut there. I'm going to lie completely flat. So you can see I'm lying 100% completely flat here, and there's still plenty of wiggle room for my feet at the end as well. So you can see I'm lying 100% flat, and there's just no issues with space in the slightest at all. You can also see if I shuffle over, just lying on this end here, I'm probably taking maybe 1/3 of the bed, if that. So again, it just goes to show it's a really nice wide bed compared to some beds you can get in micro campers that are really small. As I say, I'm barely taking 1/3 of the bed there. As I say, lying down 100% flat. And again, lots and lots of wiggle room at the end for the tootsies. So as I say, I can't see any issues with this bed seating or lying anybody really. It also has a couple of added features as well that would just make it a little bit more comfortable. For example, for the top part of the bed section here, rather than relying on the 2 little hinges I just showed you there, those 2 hinges, you can have those folded back down, have the driver's seat moved back, and use the backrest of the driver's seat almost as a headrest board for the extension, and then it gives a bit of an angle, almost like a pillow-like angle. I have to excuse all of the jumping around, but you can see that's angled the cushion up quite nicely there. So I say I could quite happily sleep in this without a pillow, just by that slight angle change that basically turns this top cushion into a pillow at the same time. And again, you can just see how much room I've still got there, and this is lying completely flat in the van. So that's the bed, 200 centimetres long, over 1 metre wide, and there's just an abundance of space. Now while the bed is still in its bed position, I just want to show the fact that you can still get your feet down. I've left this area specifically with nothing in, with access to that cupboard. So that means if you ever got up in the morning, you couldn't be bothered moving the entire bed away just to be able to sit up and make a cuppa. It means that with this little space here, you could get up while the bed was still in its full bed position, still get into the sink, still get into the hob, still get into the storage area. So it just means you're not having to put all of the bed stuff away just to be able to start moving or doing things in the van. Just this little bit of foot space makes all the difference, just to be able to get up in the morning, be able to just sit, have a cuppa, this, that, the other, have a quick wash, before having to then dismantle all the bed, even though dismantling the bed takes seconds, as I'll show you now. So to put the bed back into the sofa position, just pop that cushion back on top, pop the supply panel back underneath, flip the extension panel back under the cushions, and that's it. It's that quick, simple and easy. So there you go, that was what, 10-20 seconds, something like that. And now the bed is fully away, and the sofa is now back into its sofa position. And you can see again, plenty of room, plenty of foot room, plenty of leg room, plenty of room to work around the hob, around the sink, no issues at all. So once the conversion was complete, it was time to start attacking the outside of the van. It was starting to look a little bit tired when I first bought it. The rear bumper was rusting away, so that's a full brand new replacement bumper all the way along, with replacement corners and the step as well. The roof was pretty much full of rust scabs, so they've all been knocked back, fully treated, primed, fillered, primed again, block sanded, and then the van went in for paint, and it's come back, and the roof itself's looking really nice compared to what it was when I first bought the van. There was even rust scabs going down towards the front window, and you can see it's all blended in really nicely. After that was done, I had to start taking care of the sills. The sills are a common rust issue on the Ford Connects. The sills, thankfully, had already been replaced on this van, but the paintwork that had been applied to the replacement sills was starting to flake and crust away. So I've knocked all of that back. It's all been ground back, rust treated. Then it's had some stone guard. Then it's been in for paint, as I say, and it's had a full paint application on top as well. So the sills on this van should be protected for many, many years to come. After that, I pretty much then had to flat back the entire van before it went in for paint. That took a good while to do, but it was worth it in the end. Now when I went and put the van into the paint shop, I just said to the body shop, basically just surprise me. I didn't have a set colour in mind, so I just said to them, do what you want to do to it. And surprised me, they have. They've pretty much gave me a one-off colour. If you're standing close to the van, it looks like a deep dark grey, but as you can see, it's beautiful metal flake in it as well. I'm just hoping this camera's making this metal flake out, because it's just popping like crazy. Now with the flake they've put in, they've put a mixture of smooth and textured metal flake into the clear coat that went on top. So it's not 100% smooth to the touch. You can feel some of the flake inside it. It's had 5-6 coats of clear coat over the top as well. It's just the chunkiness of the metal flake that's gone into it that's gave it that textured finish. As I say, I just hope this camera's picking up the flake, because the rainbow effect that's coming off it is just amazing. If the camera's not picking it up, I'll try and take some photos just to put on the video, because as I say, this flake effect is just superb that's showing off the van. Now I've had everything colour coded, even all the way down to the skylight, the rear bumpers, the arches, the front bumper. The only thing that hasn't been colour coded is that tiny little grille there, and your windscreen surround and your wing mirrors. Obviously you do need to have a little bit of black, because otherwise the black rubber would have just looked a little bit daft. But everything else is just looking superb, especially when the sun hits it. As I say, it just shines and sparkles like crazy. I just really hope this camera's picking it up. Now although it's a really nice deep silver colour when you're up close to it, the further you walk away from the van, the colour almost flips to a purple/lilac colour, as you might be able to tell here. As I say again, I don't know how well the camera's making it out until I get back and start editing it down. As I say, hopefully the further I walk away, the more lilac it should start to look. It's a very, very, very strange colour. It's fully metallic as well, so it's not a cheap paint job that's been applied at all. As I say, then you get closer to it and it just pops straight back to silver again. All of the roof's also been done. Obviously I didn't have the roof bars colour coded, because then that would have just started chipping and flaking off, but everywhere else, all the way even down to the handles, it's all had the metal flake applied to it as well. And as I say, it just looks absolutely lovely. You're not going to see another Ford Connect or pretty much any other vehicle in this colour. This is a one-off colour made to order, and it never got used. That's why the body shop were happy just to use it up on my van. As I say, the flake itself, it's just ridiculous, the amount of rainbow sparkle that's shining off it. As I say, if the camera's not picking it up, I'll put some photos on as well. So there we go, that is pretty much the roundup of this tiny, tiny little Ford Connect done. As I say, looking at it from the outside, you would not think that this is big enough to house a full campervan conversion inside it. It's not the long wheelbase high top that most people would choose to convert, just because that gives the extra space obviously. But if anything, this would go towards being more of a stealth campervan. Obviously the metal flake doesn't make it very stealthy, but everything else other than the metal flake, as I say, you just would not think that this is actually a campervan looking at it. You'd think it's just any other bog standard straight panel van. So that's the conversion complete. That's the bodywork and full body prep and paint fully complete as well. So that is this van now fully complete. If you haven't seen the full series showing each and every job I've done on this van, do have a look on my channel. There's a playlist with all of the videos in order of how I've went along and attacked the van from the very first day I bought it all the way through to this final roundup video. So as I say, there's loads of videos on my channel showing both the conversion of this, also the conversion of my VW T4. There's a Daihatsu Hijet that I've previously done, and I'm about to start doing this one now the Ford's done. And then once that's done, I've got the VW T5 as well, so I've got plenty of projects on the go. So that although there's loads of content on my channel, there's going to be plenty more to come as well. So if you haven't already, do hit that subscribe button. Give this video a good old thumbs up if you do found it useful as well. Have a look at my channel, loads of content on there, loads more to come. And hopefully I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Cheers.